In the late 1800s, in the quiet town of Exeter, Rhode Island, a dark and ancient fear began to creep into the hearts of the townsfolk. The Brown family had been struck by a relentless illness. Consumption, a disease we now know as tuberculosis, was slowly and painfully taking them one by one. First, George Brown's wife succumbed, then their daughter Olive, and then young Mercy. But one family member remained, Edwin, Mercy's brother, who was hanging on to life by a thread. Desperate to save his only son, George Brown turned to a chilling local superstition. Whispers circulated in the village that the Browns were cursed, that a malevolent spirit was draining the life from Edwin. And that spirit, they believed, was none other than Mercy, who had risen from the grave as a vampire. Now, in most of America, these were nothing more than superstitions. But here, in rural Rhode Island, the people believed. They truly feared that the dead could rise and feed on the living. And so, on a bitterly cold day in March 1892, George and a handful of villagers ventured up to the cemetery, carrying shovels and lanterns, their breath visible in the icy air. They dug up Mercy's grave, praying they'd find only dust and bones. But what they found was far more disturbing. There, in her coffin, Mercy Brown lay in an almost pristine state, her body eerily well-preserved despite being dead for months. It's said that her heart was still full of blood, bright and red, almost as if it were still beating. This was all the evidence they needed to confirm their darkest fears. To them, Mercy was a vampire. To break the curse, they cut out her heart, burned it to ashes, and mixed the ashes into a potion that poor Edwin was forced to drink. They believed it would sever the vampire's hold on him, that it would banish Mercy's spirit from haunting her family. But despite this grim ritual, Edwin soon succumbed to the same disease that had taken his sister. The exorcism had failed, and Mercy's legend only grew. As news spread, newspapers across the country picked up the story, sparking fear, curiosity, and revulsion. Some believed that Mercy's ghost, wronged by her own family, now wandered the town, cursed to forever haunt the land where she was disturbed. To this day, some say that on quiet nights, if you walk by her grave in Chestnut Hill Cemetery, you can feel her presence, watching, waiting. Was Mercy Brown just a victim of disease and fear? Or was she something far darker, something beyond the grave? One thing's for certain, the truth lies buried with Mercy Brown,